was very well known to have a video camera on me at all times. And I just absolutely I've adored photography and video and capturing things for a long time. Our family was also a farming family from the central North Island. So we grew up riding horses from 5 years old. Went through hunting, and we were definitely eventers. I got up to intermediate level eventing. I didn't have the courage to go any further. I was actually much more comfortable at novice level. My sister was very good. She had the international heart. So that's where my love for horses came from. And when I did a lot of things, and I went across to Canada, and I spent 7 years in Canada. And when I came back, I kind of was at that stage in my life. I was 34, a big change. What was I going to do? And I actually had a really, really nice friend who pretty much became my mentor, just say, well, what do you want to do? And I said photography, and I mentioned a few other things, but he obviously saw that my eyes had a little bit of a glint in them when I said photography. He literally said, can you immerse yourself in it? Can you support yourself for a year so you can give it a really good shot, and just allow yourself to go out and find out if that's going to be what you want to do? And I did that, and I was able to support myself for a year. And I just kept finding myself at horse events around our local area. I tried a few other things too, but I kept going back to the horses, and that just started flowing. That's where my love was. So
yeah, great. For those that have just tuned in, I'm talking to Libby Law. If you've got any questions, just leave them in the comments and we'll answer them at the end. So you travel overseas most of the year. How long are you normally away for, and how do you sort of get around Europe?
So I just quickly, my international pull came back in 2010, 2011, when Clark Johnston, Jonathan Paget, they'd just come back from World Games. They had been in Europe, but they were going back to actually base themselves in Europe. And same with Lizzie Green, who was Lizzie Brown back then. They were moving over there to make their bid or their campaign for the London Olympics. And I thought, I'm going to ride their coattails. I'm going to go over and I'm going to see if I can do some business over there and bring our athletes back to New Zealand to showcase them a bit better. So that's where that started. And I literally went over there, and I didn't know too many people. The likes of Lizzie, Jock and Clark, who I probably knew the best, they were all starting off their businesses over there too. So I just threw myself into it. Straight away I knew I'd have to get, the best option was to get a motorhome. So I got a motorhome, and it fits perfectly in what I do, because I'm going from event to event to event for literally 6 months on end.
Yeah.
Every week. Yeah. And the beauty with a motorhome too is that I'm self-sufficient. So when I do pop into the riders' yards, if I do go and visit them, I can kind of keep myself away from their busy schedules and have my own space. It just saves a lot of money too. If I didn't have my motorhome, it would probably cost me so much, both emotionally and physically, to hotel and hire car and plane and train. Gosh, to be able to have my motorhome as my base all through Europe is magnificent.
Yeah. So you've got an amazing job. You obviously travel to the world's best equestrian events. I'd imagine it'd be pretty hard work, and you wouldn't get a lot of time to rest. Tell us sort of a bit about your typical day.
Oh, typical day. I don't stop for an event. So I usually arrive at an event on the Tuesday and go straight out and walk the course. I'm also usually finishing filing and tidying up from the previous event that would have finished on the Sunday. And throughout an event, I'm just constantly thinking about my clients. So my clients' needs, what they need. I do a range of different nations. I work for quite a lot of outlets. So of course, my love and my passion for New Zealand is what pretty much sets my season. But then I have to bring on other contracts to pay the way. And I also love the fact that I can supply images to a wider range of media, because there's so much going on. I get to capture it all. So a typical day, you know, I'll get up 2 hours before the dressage will start on whatever day. So it usually starts with 8:30 or 9 o'clock for most of the big internationals. So I'll be up at 7, get myself sorted. I like an hour in the morning. I need a cup of coffee or a couple of cups of coffee, and then get to the media centre, set up my computer and all the rest of that, and then head out to the competition areas. I usually have to shoot the entire day. I need leaders. I need all our New Zealand riders. I work for the USA as well. I work for quite a few publications over in Europe. So I have to get all their riders. So when you actually look at a start list, they're dotted all over the place. So you can't I can't afford to leave the arena, just in case I miss that leader or that pivotal rider. I'll also keep an eye out for all those behind the scenes shots, the team shots, the grooms, the connections of all the riders, because the how they socialize together and how they congratulate each other and the support they give each other is such a huge part of what happens in our world of equestrian in all disciplines. And to capture that interaction is phenomenal. That obviously, so it's balancing between the competition and as many other things, taking viewers into the actual competition. I also want them to see the trade stands. I want to set them to see the huge crowds. I want them to see the bars set up by the jumps and the cross country jumps, say at Bokolo, which is just incredible. So I usually spend a good 8 hours shooting, and that's a normal event. Aaken's different. Aaken, you're shooting from 7 a.m. till about 12:30 a.m. So what's that, 15 hours of shooting before, and trying to get editing done in between. So a typical event where it's 9 till 5, say, your typical work day, once 5 o'clock hits, we've got the press conferences and then the editing really starts. And I've got a very short period of time to get those immediate images out to quite a wide range of clients. So usually a 2-hour window. And then after that 2-hour window, I've got other things I've got to do, e.g. Whether it's for publications post-event or galleries that are going out later in the night, captioning, making sure everything's filed properly and tucked away so that I can get out there again the next day and do it again. We live in a world where deadlines are every second. It's not a deadline the next Tuesday, it's a deadline every second. I'm lucky to be working with clients that are dotted around the world, so I can work with time zones. World Games, Olympics, those are the hardest ones because everyone's there and they all need the photos immediately. There's only so fast you can actually go when but it's amazing, and the adrenaline that courses through me. I think it's the excitement of representing the riders and the sport and the organisers and the media I work with to celebrate our sport and get it out to those people who adore them. And that drives me. It's incredible.
I see you everywhere. I can see you at badminton at Arc, and I remember I was watching the driving in Boyd XL and your little head pops up, and then saw you at the World Equestrian Games. You're just everywhere. It's amazing.
Well, it seems like you are too, Tanya. Yeah.
So your main goal when you're taking a photo, what's your main goal when you're taking a photo of a horse and a rider?
So we were chatting about this the other day. My main pivotal, it has not changed from the start, and I think it'll keep me driven all the way through my career. Because I used to ride, and we grew up through our teenage years and early 20s riding, and we couldn't do the normal things that those age groups do. Like, our horses were our life. We couldn't just go to the beach with our friends. We had to tag team because horses were 24/7. And it's stunning. It's absolutely stunning. It was beautiful. I don't say we sacrificed anything because it was such an incredible life. But the work that goes into producing horses and getting to any competition, whether it's a pony club event or the likes of badminton and World Games and Olympic Games that I'm lucky enough to go to as media, the amount of work, blood, sweat and tears, passion, that these riders and connections have, and owners, etc., have been through, sponsors, couldn't say enough about everyone, to get to that point. So when I'm shooting them in any phase, I want to try and encapsulate all that work that's gone in, between that horse and rider to get to that exact point right then, whether it's a pirouette or an extension or a half pass in dressage, whether it is the biggest cross-country jump, the toughest, the most interesting one where you see the acrobatics of the horse, those are the ones I really like. That moment I capture, I want to be able to represent everything that's gone into that moment. I don't know if I ever will, because how do you? But that's what goes through my mind when I'm out there, is just, it takes my breath away. And it's very rare that I actually get a photo where I think, nailed it. There's always something I can be doing better. There's a split second of time which I just missed it, just missed that, you know. Not saying, I mean, once I look through photos a number of times, I start seeing usually how I'm pretty happy with them. The first time I'm not that happy with them usually, because I've got such high expectations of me representing the riders. But I continually do it over and over again, so I'm pretty lucky.
Yeah, because your job, really, it's your passion. You can tell you're really passionate about it, and you know, with your crazy schedule, and you may so what kind of drives you to keep going?
The riders, I started doing this full time when I was 34. I'm now 44, so this is my 10th year. I've found what I love doing. I've found that's where I belong. I love being back in New Zealand, and I love doing the Australian events, and I love doing all levels here. I do everything from pony club to yard shoots to lots of magazine shoots for horse and pony, and team training with Equestrian Sports New Zealand here in New Zealand. I love the diversity of bouncing around all these different dynamics here in New Zealand, but overseas, it is those elite events where I feel very proud, I feel very privileged. I'm totally addicted to my international season. It totally drives me. That's why this situation this year is really, really difficult. In those arenas, it just feels like I belong. It's as simple as I can. That's the only way I can put it. I love the view through my lens, and I feel really privileged to have gotten to know these incredible riders everywhere, from again your pony club right through, and hopefully gain their respect. That's the other thing that drives me too, is making sure I represent these riders to the best ability I can. I have so much. I'm in awe of them.
Yeah,
it's very good. It's a very good drive.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. So do you work with others, or you mainly solo when you're out there?
Mainly solo. The photographers I've met overseas, there's certainly a camaraderie. I've definitely helped photographers out through the years. My contracts are so intense. I usually don't have time to think about too much else. But often, you know, if a photographer needs something they may have missed, or it's very rare, but on occasion I have missed a very pivotal photo I've needed, and I've got photographers over there that I can get one off. Yeah. I'm very strict. I always pay them. Because again, my work, I'm so busy, I don't know when I'll be able to repay that favour of being there to give them back that photo, you know, the barter system. I'd much rather pay them in that way. But there's other ones where we've done swaps at events, and it works really well. I think the majority of photographers out there are there for each other. It's a very, very good, on the international circuit, it's a very good feeling in those media centres.
Yeah. For those that have just joined us, we're talking to Libby Law, international photographer. If you've got any questions, just leave it in the comments below and we'll answer them at the end. So what magazines are you contracted to that the viewers can have a look at your photos?
So I here in New Zealand Horse and Pony magazine. I also work obviously for Equestrian Sports New Zealand and Event for Life, which is Australian based, but they do a lot of work in England. and Photosport New Zealand. So that's my agent here in New Zealand. Now, those are my stock steady, really strong contracts. I also work with the United States Equestrian Federation, USEF. I do quite a bit of their show jumping for them, and then cover their US riders over in Europe. I do Kentucky quite a lot, but they use American photographers there, obviously. I work quite regularly for Horse and Hound, mainly on the European continent, because they have really strong connections in the UK with photographers. My other huge contract, and who I'm really proud to be working for, is the FEI. So I've been covering the Nations Cup eventing series for the last 2 years. I've also done Barcelona for them. I did the World Equestrian, the European Eventing Championships in Stragom in 2017. And I've often, through Burley and badminton, all the 5 stars, I'll usually provide the leading 3 riders at the end of the cross-country and show jumping days, and podium shots for them to then celebrate with.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud to be an FEI photographer. That's certainly a dream come true. I actually nearly burst into tears at the FEI European Eventing Championships in Stragom. That was the first big solid contract I had with them. I remember going out on cross-country day, and it just dawned on me that I was there representing the worldwide federation of our equestrian sports governing body, who I definitely am an adoring fan.
Whoops, we've just come a little bit of delay. It's gone. What's happening? Whoops, she's just frozen. Whether she's going to come back. Let's see whether we can. Won't be a moment. Just see what's happened. Oh, she's dropped out. Won't be a moment.
Is that better?
Yeah, no, that's better. Sorry, just dropped out. Yeah.
I think.
So
Can we blame it on? Can we blame it on the altitude here in the Southern Alps?
Oh, it's probably the Wi-Fi. Probably country. Tekapo's not exactly city. Yeah.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's God, it's a heavenly place. It's
so in June this year, the FEI published an article with your favourite 5 shots. How did you choose those?
Oh my goodness! I tell you, that was. How do you choose 5 photos?
I know.
Oh, out of 10 years of having my mind blown by what I've seen. My first edit or selection was, I think, 445 photos or something like that. I managed to get it down to 75. I was quite proud of that. And then I actually got it down to 7. And I said to them, I can't cut any more out. I can't cut these 2 out. I just couldn't do it. So they actually published 7 of them, but they used 5, and I had to tell them which 5. How to choose those ones? It was just diversity and, you know, a representation of some of the special moments. Definitely difficult. Like, it's something I find really hard as choosing photos. It's the hardest thing to do is decide which photos to use. Not saying that, oh my God, I have so many amazing photos. It's just that.
Oh, I know you do though. I mean, I've seen some. Yeah.
It's honestly probably the thing that takes the longest is because I work with quite a few outlets in the same country. So New Zealand, sometimes I'm sending out to 3 outlets in New Zealand, and we're a little country and we've got a great audience, but it's, I need to give them different photos for each publication, and choosing them and splitting them, and it's that's the thing that takes the most time for me. And I've tried going faster, but it's something that I think the writers also deserve me to take my time, a little bit of time, to make sure that I get hopefully the best shot that I've taken of them. So yeah, but those 5 for the FEI, that was probably one of the toughest things I've been able to do.
Yeah.
Mm.
And what's your favourite event, like your favourite international event?
I love them all. I love them all of them. Favorite, like Aachen is definitely, Aachen is magic. There is
Actually, every week I ask that question, I get the same answer.
But then I feel it incorporates what, 5 of the disciplines, 6, 5. It's so incredibly managed. It's so elite. It's so specialised that it's really special. But I like the chaos of Horse of the Year, where I saw you and took those fabulous photos of you guys. The chaos of that was so much going on, and I mean chaos in the way of it's just a really busy event. The event is very well run, incredibly well run, but there's just so many classes going on.
Yeah, they're
and
everywhere.
I go, I can't control myself, so I end up almost spinning in circles. But I can honestly say every event is incredibly special. And the other thing with me having such a busy year, when an event finishes, I've got the next one to look forward to at all times. When I leave England, it's cold, it's getting dark. I've just finished Po. I've just finished an intense 6-month season over there. I get to go to Adelaide, where it's warm, it's divine. The days are getting longer. I go back into spring from autumn. So it's very rare that I ever get to an end of an event and have that down feeling, because I've got a next one to get to.
So you never have a
And
winter.
well, it was, I must say, first winter in 10 years, cold. It was very cold.
Because I'm not used to it either, and I'm freezing. Because I'm normally, I might come home for a couple of weeks and then I'm off again.
Because you're in Melbourne, aren't you?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. It's chilly down there.
Yeah, it's pretty cold. Yeah.
Now, the other, just quickly, if I've got time, the other is obviously the Olympic Games and the World Games for obvious reasons. But the Olympics, walking into the main media centre at Rio, I thought I'd gone to heaven. I just sat in the compound outside the main massive media centre, and all the world's Olympic media came in, which pretty special. And I was sitting there I just landed in heaven. It was amazing. It's a pretty epic moment.
Yeah, it'd be great. Yeah, great feeling. So you must be pretty fit though, like you walk long distances and you've got these massive big cameras. How do you sort of, like cross country day, how do you manage that?
You don't really think about it. Yeah, but I do stay really fit. I'm very camera fit. I've got some pretty good pipes on me. And I don't sit still. So I'm not one to sit at a fence all event, because it's boring. I want to get different shots for people looking. And I want to run around. I want to keep fit and active and what have you. Hence the reason I wear Lululemon. It's very easy and very very movable. I couldn't imagine wearing jeans.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be able to do the movements if I had to wear jeans. And I also cycle. I go to the gym. I'm a bit of a gym bunny. I like being fit.
Yeah. So what do you sort of do in your spare time? Like, do you have much spare time? Downtime?
So when I'm in Europe, because it's so crazy, usually on a Tuesday, I'll always go for a cycle. I will try and this last season, every season's got crazier and crazier. Usually I'd get out of my bike 3 times a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then I'd be full on shooting Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, of course. Last year, it was a struggle to get out of my bike even once a week, just due to the travel and the workload. As active as I am through events, I usually need a Tuesday to eat, to sleep, and to go for a cycle and clear my mind. And when I'm back home here, I love the gym. I do RPM. I do all the group classes. I've become quite a gym bunny now that I'm stuck here in New Zealand. I can't run because my knees are a bit shot. That's why I cycle. I used to rollerblade, but of course I had a massive head injury in Melbourne, and I haven't donned my rollerblades since then, and that's when I started road cycling. And I really love that. I even have done a few races over 100 k's each. Yeah. So it's a bit of fun. Yeah, a bit of an escape.
What I might do now, I've got some photos. I'll just share those and we'll just go through them.
Okay, what have you chosen?
Wait a minute. Sorry, I'm just right. At your desk. Beautiful Lake Wakatipu.
Oh, see, my mum lives just down below where those housing, that's Queenstown. That's on top of the Remarkables.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Blair Castle.
Yeah. Got something about jumping up in the air. Oh, Sir Mark Todd. Oh my goodness. And it's Equestrian Sports New Zealand. I love that man. I feel so blessed to know him. That's probably a huge highlight of what I've done, is to have gotten to know my hero and so many heroes
So I
so
remember
well.
him when I was 14 and he came to our pony club. He just won the Olympics at was it with Charisma? Yeah.
Los Angeles or Korea or Seoul? First or second one? Do you
Los
remember?
Angeles, I think.
Los Angeles?
Yeah.
And another, Janelle Price. Oh my God. I mean, Tim and Janelle, that's where I keep my motorhome through the winter, and they're my go-to place. I can turn up at their place at any time. I'm totally respect to them. Again, the adoration I have for Tim and Janelle is beyond words. Their son Otis, I was speaking to them the other day, and I just said, I'm like that crazy non-auntie that's a little bit scary of how much I love their son. And of course now they've got Abel, and I haven't met her yet. I've seen photos of her, but I haven't met her obviously because she was born just recently. But oh gosh, and there's been Janelle one at Mondial early on, so
yeah,
it was quite a while ago, that one.
It's Mark again.
Telling him what to do. That's the thing. It's good being a photographer. Oh, Katie Laurie, so one of our top show jumpers, she's now actually under the Australian flag. Yeah. She's based at West Meadows. But again, I adore her as well, and she was the reason I went to the World Cup finals for the jumping in Las Vegas back in 2015, I think it was. Magic.
Zealand team.
Yeah, fangirl.
So what's this one, the silver camera?
So that's the Silver Camera Award, is done at Aachen every year for the best sports photograph of the year, equestrian sports photograph, and that's judged by a range of different people. So some photographers, some media, some advertising specialists. So I'm not too sure if it was the Mercedes-Benz marketing people, or it was a big sponsor for Aachen, that one of their marketing team was a judge. And also I think Sparkasse Bank is the main sponsor of it. So the head honchos of that. So those two gentlemen that I'm nearly covering are the two Sparkasse Bank and Chio Aachen directors. And Arndt Bronkhorst is on the left-hand side from the Netherlands, and Eric Knoll is on the right-hand side, who's French. And I again, these two photographers are, I again idolise them. I'm proud to say I'm proud to sit with them in the media rooms, and to win this with those two as the finalists and myself was, my legs actually did collapse. I didn't think I deserved it because I hold these two in such high regard, but you know, that's again another epic moment. And the crowd at Aachen was so aware of what was going on. They celebrated the photographers, they celebrated the media. The stands it was in between two big show jumping rounds, so the stands were quite full, and everything was directed at us, as we're usually the ones that are in the background. So it was a pretty amazing moment, and all our photographer friends were taking photos of us, and it was quite surreal. And Eric Knoll is actually
sorry,
Eric Knoll.
Yeah, I don't know if I can go back. Sorry,
it's all right. Well, Eric's actually, I'm working with him this weekend because Hara Depart is on the Nations Cup in France, and he's doing photography for me. He's sending me photos, and I'm distributing them out to my clients this weekend. So still quite connected, even though I'm stuck in New Zealand. My beautiful mum and my brother on the left side of Badminton, my beautiful mum in London, she comes over most years. We always go to see a show. And she's horse crazy. She's
Oh, that's and
Biggest fan.
I've met your brother. He's based in Melbourne too.
He's my travel agent as well. He's pretty amazing. But Snaffle Travel is the other #1 travel agency that people should definitely use. Absolutely. Biking. That was in London. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Skiing.
Skiing.
Queenstown again.
Yeah, this was just a couple of weeks ago. Before I'd made the decision not to go to Europe, but this is my little niece with the blue helmet on. She is 14. Her and Caleb's my nephew, and he's 16. I don't see much of them. I live in Auckland, they live in Queenstown. I'm away 6 months of the year. I do see them when I get back, obviously, but they're growing so quickly. I've just been absorbing their company for the last few months, and it's heaven. She's crazy on skis, crazy.
Well, you would be living in Queenstown. Couple of photos of you. Photos. This at the New Zealand Horse of the Year?
Yeah. We do a photo with the Horse of the Year winners, dressage, jumping, and eventing. And we usually get the riders to take photos of us media. So that's one of those shots of all the media at the Horse of the Year. Yeah. The annual thing. That's Eric Knoll, actually won the silver camera the year after me. So that's who we're pointing to. God, I love those guys. God, I miss them. He's working for me this weekend.
Okay.
I'm his boss this weekend. Badminton. Yeah, that's the look. That's the post cross country look.
Yeah, and I remember that cross country fence. I think it was in 2009. Was it last year? And I think it was 2018 as well. Yeah. Mark Todd again.
Oh yes, yeah. Caroline and Lenmore.
Yeah.
Again, Caroline, I've another rider I've become quite close to. She's a very, very dear friend, and I try and see her a few times a year and just go and stay with her and Greg. And of course, Lenmore, just what a horse, what a character. My goodness. That was actually his retirement. The crowds.
Yeah, amazing.
Just an awesome photo. I mean, badminton, as you know, is just crazy. The crowds are amazing.
Yeah, that's the lake. What's this? Is that Mary King?
Mary King. Yeah, another person that I grew up idolising. I still do.
I used to love going, and she used to have a stand, and she'd sign the book, and her mother, her daughter, and her were there. But sadly, her mum passed away a couple of years ago.
Yep. And Emily's incredible. Oh, a few different angles of shots, these ones.
Yeah,
just
amazing.
Tom McEwen, I do a lot of work with Tom.
Yeah.
Typical badminton house shot.
This is an amazing one. Wow.
Yeah.
Wilson, Nicole Wilson.
Nicola Wilson, yeah.
Yeah, Nicola.
The horse took off from this massive parallel, a good stride out, and she was just amazing. So just those shots, they're not perfect at all. The frangible pin actually did come down. She ended up retiring at the next fence, but just the way the horse actually realised after takeoff that he'd done something wrong. It was one of his first 4 stars. So in that, he was quite green at 4 star, even though I'd been through all the levels. And you could tell they're feisty. They're so feisty, and these riders are amazing. But the way Nicola handled this, she could see, instead of fighting and, probably messing the horse up, that's what these top riders can do. Is sit there and allow the horse to move. She obviously went back and got, to that point where you catch, but she isn't pulling on the mouth. She's got a most amazing seat, but she's still trying to stay as still as possible so not to unbalance the horse. Just incredible. And he managed to get more lift after lift off. Yeah. Amazing what you can catch.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's a nice one too.
Yeah, Gemma Tattersall. That's perfect. That's a vicarage fee.
Yeah, that
cool.
one year, I think it was 2018. It was a lot of carnage.
Lots. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's another good one.
That's Laura Collett.
Mm.
Little torpedo.
Oh, Paul Tatner, he had a bad accident or brain hemorrhage earlier in the week.
When?
He's in hospital.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll get in touch with Team Tatner.
Mm. I remember
That's
this
the other thing. The sport is you need courage and these riders are incredibly talented. They are so precise. The way they tackle these elite events. There's certainly no cowboys out there. There's they know the risks and they take every precaution and every detail of walking courses and knowing their horses, and that's the other thing that you're surrounded by when you're at these events is the preciseness. And at any moment, as we all know, things can go wrong because you're also dealing with animals and humans.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing. Michael Jung winning the Rolex Grand Slam.
But every year we go, we never know who's going to win. There might be a favourite, but you never know.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. It's and you get lots of surprises. There's
Mark Johnson, is it? Balmoral Sensation.
Yep. That's badminton stables.
Yeah.
And that's inside the badminton stables. You have to get what do you call supervision going in there. So you can't just go in. They actually have stopped letting any media in. Only the FEI and badminton photographers can go in there. Mark and Carolyn Todd, beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous couple.
The New Zealand team again.
Yeah.
Where's this?
Oh,
this
getting
beautiful.
That's one of the badminton guardhouses at the back of the property. Yeah, we did a Volvo shoot there quite a few years ago. Getting arty with the frame. Black and white.
Park and Balmoral. Yep, the stables.
Beautiful partnership. That's Nicola Wilson again.
Yeah.
Does it seem like I've got favourites? I don't. Look, getting a bit arty again with flash and it's splash, shall I say, and black and white and the moments away from the competition. I mean, my media people. That's badminton again. And then Michael Jung on the left-hand side. How can you go wrong? Walking into something like that.
Thank you, Libby. I'll just check the questions.
Has anyone asked anything?
Do you have any particular photos that you're exceptionally proud of that no one else has managed to capture?
Oh goodness. Oh gosh, do I have a unique? We're I must say, and I'll talk from myself. I get so inspired by others. Just trying to think. I think the inspiration has come from being inspired by others. So trying to think of something that's uniquely my own. Maybe just some of the crazy, erratic, downward, upward angles. I'd have to think about that one a bit longer. Because I'm majorly a sports photographer for media. Just trying to think of some of the more arty ones I've done, feature shoots. I can honestly think I've been inspired each time, so I can't say that one jumps out that I can say, oh my goodness, that's a Libby Law angle. I think, if anything, erratic's kind of my angle. So it's not actually the actual photo, it's the erraticness of how I do things. That seems to work for me.
Thanks very much. I think everyone's enjoyed listening to you, and thank you so much for giving up your time. Next Thursday at 7:30, we've got another New Zealander. We've got Chloe Phillips Harris. She's done the 1000K Mongol Derby, and she's also got a book out called Fearless. We look forward to seeing you next week at 7:30. Good night and have a good week.
Amazing. Thank you, Tanya.
Thank you. All right. Just stop.